I have Forrest Miller here. Forrest is obviously Bruce's son, and he played on several of the songs that CJ and Bruce did with XX Bottom, right?
I did. I played on Voodoo, Thank God She Isn't, My Mama Warned Me, and
Whole Lot of Nothing?
yes.
Yeah, awesome. Now, what did you play? Did you play bass or violin, or what did you play?
I played bass and violin on all of them. Some of them don't have violin, but I played bass on all of them, and the ones that did have violin, I played violin on. So.
Now, I think, a lot of people might think of the violin just, well, us non-music people might think of it just as a normal violin, but seeing you play it a little differently. Can you talk to me about, like, why you chose a violin? And
Yeah, well, I don't really know why I chose violin.
It was just the instrument of the hour.
Yeah, kind of. It was, I was really young, and my dad told me that I had to learn an instrument, so I, for some reason, picked violin, and still don't remember why. But I did classical training for, I guess, 5 or 6 years, and then I just kind of got bored with it and started learning fiddle and jazz and blues and rock and all of that, which I really enjoy playing, and I feel like there's a lot more freedom in it stylistically. And so, I try to, sometimes I try to emulate other instruments when I play. Like for Voodoo, it was sort of a, like a shredding guitar.
Is your violin an electric violin, or are all violins like that?
No, I actually have an interesting violin called a Viper, and it's a completely electric
You're going to show me your Viper.
Instrument. Yes, Viper is a custom-made electric violin. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like a flying V.
That is cool.
It hooks on and it straps on, so you don't have to hold it with your neck. And yeah, it's this company called Wood Violins out of New York, and they make amazing instruments. And
I have to stop for a sec. Your dad told me about when you wanted to get your violin, and he told me a little story, and I thought that was very cool, and I'd like you to share that with us.
Well, when I found out about them, I really wanted one, so I decided to. I made a record of my own stuff, and when I was about 12, I think, and I made it and called all of my family members and sold it to people who I played for, and raised money to buy it, and I raised, I think, a little over $4,000 to get it.
That is so awesome. So tell me a little bit about when you were working on, what it was like to work on Voodoo and play the violin.
Well, it was a blast, pretty much. I love working with my dad and CJ, always. They're just great guys and fun to work with and easy to work with. And, they said, we want this really swampy sort of old bluesy tune, and I immediately knew what it was going to sound like, and it came out really well. And when they said they wanted the electric violin on it, it was kind of hesitant, but played on it, and it was just, it just fit. And I was really happy about that, and it got some good reception, so I was...
So what else do you do for us? What other groups do you play with? And
I'm in a band called Mockingbird that, it's basically just good old-fashioned rock and roll, and we've been playing around town and doing some touring, and we're making making a documentary about it also, and I play bass in that band.
Awesome.
And I play with a friend of mine named Jimmy James Hunter, which is more on the pop rock side, and just a lot of fun stuff with him. And, I do the session and gig stuff around town too, which is really fun. I love
Now, are you still in school?
I just graduated from high school.
Awesome. So what are you going to do now?
Well, I'm gonna work and work and work, and may end up going up to New York to go to the New School of Jazz. But we'll see.
Well, I wanted to ask you one other thing. We're asking everybody that's been involved with it, other than your own fabulous songs that you're involved with, what other song on the soundtrack or in the movie is something that you like, that you kind of heard and you're like, that has a really cool sound or whatever?
I love Read the Book. When CJ and Donna brought it, it's just like it's such a cool song, and it's got the perfect vibe for the movie.
Yeah. Well, that's good because it's the theme song.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Forrest. I really appreciate you joining us and talking to our Kickstarter fans and fans that are out there. And I hope we see each other again soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye, Forrest.